Hello, and welcome back to some more World of Tanks. And this is the E100, one of my most played tanks. I think it's second or third behind the E75 and maybe the Löwe. I have to check that. Anyway, I used to play this tank a lot back in the day after it was released, and before I stopped playing World of Tanks back in, I think it was 2015. After returning to the game a year and a half ago, I played it a couple of times, didn't do too well. I was rusty, the tank had been kind of power crept, and it's kind of just been sitting in the garage. But then I started playing it again like a few weeks ago, and I've been having a bunch of good games in it. Well, first of all, it's been buffed, and second of all, I'm not quite as rusty anymore. And also, I took some of the purple equipment I had on my Panzer 7, which I don't play that much at the moment, and moved it over to the E100. So it's got a Bond vert stab, it's got a bounty rammer, and hardening. And this is a very good matchmaking. It's a good map for the E100, and there's no arty, and a bunch of tier 8s to snack on. For some reason we have a bunch of mediums in town, and even an ELC, which will be showing up right on my left side, right about now. Kind of distracting me from taking a shot on the VK there. I'm like, okay buddy, you go somewhere else. So, I'm using the big gun, and like most guns in World of Tanks, it has 3 types of ammunition. On the E100 though, each ammunition type has its use, and you will be seeing both the correct and the wrong application in this game. I started uploading heat because I was expecting to run into the enemy E100 in town, and here you see the E3. I cannot. Oh, and I just too slow to get the side shot on the TS5 there, but he's gonna get what's coming to him later. Don't you worry about that. And heat is actually, in a position like this, not very good against the E3, because it can't reliably pen his so-called weak spot. That's the little turret on top of the casemate there, which is not really a weak spot. Just have to find like these tiny pixels if I want to penetrate. He can't really get a good shot on me either, and it bounced. So I'm reloading high explosives, and if I hit that little turret with high explosive, it will currently, at least until the HE changes come into effect in the next patch, it's gonna splash through his roof and do a decent amount of damage, like almost 400. That's pretty much the alpha of a penetrating AP shot from a medium tank at tier 10. And he pulls back because he knows I can hit his little weak spot with high explosive all day, every day, and he's not gonna like that too much. But now I have HE loaded, and against other kinds of targets, like that E100, heat might be better. Or against the side of a lot more lightly armored tank, like the TS5, AP would be better. It does not get absorbed by tracks the way heat does. So here's an Emil 1. Ooh, and that's gotta hurt. That was actually an HE pen. I was kind of cursing myself to have HE loaded when he showed up side on to me there instead of AP, but it worked out well. There's that E3 again. And I had heat loaded, and HE would be better. Unless I had been quick enough to get that side shot that he briefly exposed. But after wasting a shot on the front of the E3, that TS5 moves out and would have presented me with a side shot there. Then again, if I hadn't fired at the E3, he probably would have stayed put. So some of our mediums and the ELC E100 have actually gone on to the left flank, and they are pushing that flank, which means it's safe for me to cross up here. There's that TS5. And again, AP or heat would have been better. Couldn't quite get an HE penetration on his ass there, but it would easily have been an AP penetration. But he gets taken out anyway, and I get some spotting damage. Gonna pull back a bit and try and side scrape off this corner. But then the T62 pulls back, and I decide to move forwards. And that's the correct application of a heat shell, right in the lower plate of the enemy E100. So can I do that again? Well, he has the small gun. And he did penetrate me, because I was exposing some of my side armor. But I penned him, and my shot hurt a lot more than his. So it's a good trade. Can I finish him off? And here, HE would probably have worked just as well. He was on less than 100 hit points. But I've got credits to spare. And here's Mr. E3 again. Can I get a side? Well, I had HE loaded, and well, it worked out okay. 400 against an E3, that's nothing to scoff at. So he fired at something. I was not fast enough to come out and hit his lower plate. Oh wait, I had HE loaded, so whatever. Wouldn't have mattered. Splashed his front casemate. Going for his little turret would have been better. Didn't quite aim low enough there. The lower plate on the E3 is actually very easily penetrable by the heat shells on the E100. One of the things I like about the big gun on this is that the heat penetration is a lot better than the APCR penetration on the 128. A bunch of low health targets there. I have AP loaded. Should have maybe fired AP. But it worked out fine. Shotgun him with a heat shell right in the front plate. Easy pen. I'm loading a heat round, but I've selected the next one to be HE again. That would have been a kill, like, no matter what I'd fired. 2 enemies left. A Leopard 1 and an ELC. we have 5 tanks. Oh, this is gonna be an easy win, right? Well, there's the Leopard 1. He took out the... no, the ELC-90 took out the STB-1. I have HE loaded, and I'm hoping I can get an HE penetration on that Leopard, but nope. So another HE shell goes in the breach, and I've selected AP to be the next one after that. I think the changes to the intuition scale on the loader, I think that's gonna come into handy for the E100. I currently have it, but there's like an RNG thing if it activates or not. But with the changes, it's gonna always be active and just decrease the reload time if you change ammunition type. So I think that's gonna be a good thing. So UDES is capping. We have an ELC here. And that T-54 is behaving very strange. Like, it kind of seems like he's mirroring my movements. And whenever I free turn the camera... Let me do... Wait, I think I'm gonna do it again. I try to tell him to do stuff in chat. Like, his turret movements also kind of echo my camera movements. So I think it's a bot. And that should have been the AP shell. But the next one will be. Nice thing about the AP shells is they have higher muzzle velocity than the HE and heat shells. And I wasn't thinking consciously about this while playing, that the T-54 might be a bot that was like programmed to follow someone on the team. And those kind of bots, they do exist. But looking back on it, it was a good idea that I went to the cap, because then he actually followed me, or it followed me. And a bot can cap just as well as a human player. So now pressure is on the enemy ELC. Now he has to interrupt cap. I'm hoping I can get one of those juicy HE penetrations on that little toy tank. Because that would be enough to one-shot him. But I need to hit him to do that, and well, that was not it. Now that I notice it, the T-54 was in a platoon with the FV. And they both went... there. Good hit. Good hit. They both went city, following me. So, I don't know what happened to FV. I wasn't paying attention, but might have been a bot too. Anyway, bots or not, this was a good victory. This was my... first ace, not my first ace in this tank, I've had many of those in the past, but my first ace after they introduced the like progressive emblems that you can put on the tank. Not gonna do that with just one. I'm gonna wait until I get like the second or third stage, because they look cooler. Anyway, I even made a profit. I'm gonna keep playing this tank. I've kind of refallen in love with this big chunky brick, this thick brick of a tank, and yeah, goodbye and take care.